Good morning, FlossTube friends. My name is Shelly, and this is my channel, Proverbs 31:22. If you're new here, welcome, and this is a channel about my stitching endeavors. Cross-stitch, some quilting, some sewing, things like that. So I hope you see something that you like. If you do, make sure you hit the like button. And if you want to keep up to date when I post, just subscribe to my channel. And if you want to be notified, you can click the little bell to be notified for whenever I do a video. And to all of my returning friends, thanks for coming and spend some time with me again. Y'all have been really, really kind in the comments lately, so I really appreciate it. I just, I love sharing about stitching, so I love that the things that I do inspire other people. I think that's a good thing, and it makes me feel good. So thanks. I am filming a day late. Today is March the 29th, 2021. I usually film on Sundays, and yesterday I woke up with, well, first of all, the storms came through and kept me up throughout the night. And then around 5 o'clock, I woke up and I had this just terrible neck pain and headache. And so yesterday was sort of a rough day. So I did get everything ready to film, but I didn't have it in me to actually record. So, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to show you what I've stitched on in the last 7 days. So 8 days, actually. So a little bit of a life update. We did have storms that came through. Our area, surrounding area where we live in Northwest Alabama, we were spared. We didn't have anything. I mean, we had, a lot of rain, a lot of wind, but as far as I'm aware, not a whole lot of people in this area had damage, and we definitely didn't. So thanks to all of you that checked on us, and thank the Lord that we're okay. So those storms are really scary. I don't miss hurricanes living in Louisiana experience. I also don't like tornadoes. It's like, tornadoes, you don't have a whole lot of advance warning, but you're also not sitting in front of the TV for a few weeks looking at the weather, watching it come in and saying, do we need to leave? Is it okay if we stay? So anyway, I mean, it's all scary. So we're thankful that we're okay. So other than that, my older daughter and her husband wanted to do a date night this past Friday, and so they asked us if we watched The Boys. So of course they came and spent the night, and about half the day on Saturday. So we had a good time with them. They're growing up so fast. I can't wrap my brain around it, really. Especially my older grandson. He's just like, it's crazy how much he's grown, and he just keeps growing. So, as you can tell, last week I said that the only thing I was doing, the coming week was to get a haircut. That did not happen. And I'm changing hairstylist, basically. I will go this Wednesday to someone else. The girl that I've been going to, I mean, she's okay. I think she does a good job, but like every time I go, I'm having to wait at least 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes. You can't go in currently because of COVID, so you just have to wait in your car till they come out and get you. And, like I said, it's usually 10, 15 minutes, which, That's okay, but it's still, I don't know. I mean, I think, a 5 to 7 minute wait is reasonable, but when you're getting into 15, it's not. And when you get to 30 minutes, it's really not acceptable. And that's what it happened Wednesday. I had an appointment for 3 o'clock. Got there, about 5 minutes to 3, and texted her, let her know I was there. Waited. Somebody finally came out, so I thought, okay, my turn's coming, and then waited and waited and waited, and by 3:30, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. So I did make an appointment with another stylist in the area. Years ago, like probably 6 years ago, I had a girl that was fantastic. Like she was meticulous and very detail oriented, and she knew how to cut the back of my hair, especially. Like the back of my hair has a lot of wave to it, and so she knew how to cut it where it would lay flat. Because I can't stand. I mean, hairdressers tell me all the time, just go with it because it wants to, flip out. I don't like it. So I think I'm going to leave the length in the front. I kind of, like where it's at. I'll let them trim a little bit, but I just mainly want her to clean up the back and just, shorten it. Because I can't stand it. Like I'm having to straighten it right now. And I don't like it. So anyway, hopefully that will happen this coming Wednesday. So let's see, what day was it? I think it was Thursday. Maybe Thursday. I was catching up on some FlossTube. I did finally get caught up with everybody that I, normally watched. But anyway, I was watching Annie, a joy-filled stitcher, and she was announcing her giveaways from the week before, and she got down to the last skein of yarn that she was giving away, which is like a beautiful, like purple and teal, turquoise-y blue variegated yarn. And I won it. I was so excited. I was like jumping up and down and clapping and going, yay. I don't know, it's fun to win stuff. And when you win something that's that pretty and, got purple in it, I was excited. So I haven't gotten it yet, but she said she's a little bit behind on shipping her stuff out. So yay, I won something else. Every time I win something, send my husband to let him know. He's like, I think you need to start buying lottery tickets, because I don't say I win every giveaway, but I do win, frequently. So that's always fun. So this past week, I didn't do any quilting. The quilt on the wall behind me is a top that I pieced. Let's see, probably May of 19. Yes, May of 19. I went to a quilt retreat, and I got quite a bit of tops put together, and this was one of the tops. And this was a pattern that came in the January 2019 Sew Sampler box from Fat Quarter Shop. I don't get this club anymore, but if you're interested, if you like to quilt, or if you like to quilt, make different sewing projects, they have sometimes too, but mostly it's quilts. I don't know if they have any openings right now, but they have a waiting list, and people, will drop out, and so it probably wouldn't be too long before you would get on. But I really liked getting them. They come with great notions and things, as well as fabric and the pattern to make something. Like this was what came in that box. So definitely worth the value. I have a stack of them that I couldn't keep up with getting them made, so I figured I would stop in and let somebody else have a chance to get in. So but that is the wall hanging that I just need to put together in quilts. I did originally start off with it trying to have all the tape measure numbers going, you know, where you could read them, where they weren't sideways. And then, you know, when I got to some of them, it was like, okay, I've already cut this the wrong way. It's not going to work. And I didn't have enough fabric to go back and cut it again. So it is what it is. I still love it. I love the colors. That's some Bonnie and Camille fabric. But other than, you know, hanging that on the wall, that's the only quilting I did. I did help my husband on Saturday after the boys left. I think I shared last time that we have that swing and the canopy got torn. So we got fabric, and he, you know, he came up with the design of how we needed to make it. And he said that, you know, he was going to sew it. So we got in here and we, you know, started working on it. I helped him get at the machine, and he sewed for, you know, probably, I don't know, a yard maybe. And he's like, wait, it's going, you know, it's not like the edges weren't lining up anymore. And I was like, you know, well, you have to keep them lined up, you know. And so he's like, well, what do I need to do? And I was like, I got out my seam ripper and I was like, see this thing right here? It's called a seam ripper. And he was just like, F this, man, you know, like he was over and done. I'm like, geez. I mean, he didn't, you know, he ripped it out and went back and sewed it all the way. And we went out and put it on the swing and, you know, sort of sat on it and looked at it and said, okay, you know, we're still trying to figure out how we're going to fasten it to the supports. So I think we've come up with what we need to do, but, you know, it's definitely not as easy as what he thought it was going to be. So I told him that I would, you know, like we still have to, you know, trim the edges straight and hem them. So I told him that I would do that this week. So we'll be working on that this week. I don't know if I'll have a chance to get to my coriander Christmas block. I know I'll work on my daughter's, hand quilting my daughter's birthday present. So that's what I'll do coming up this week as far as sewing goes. So I do have some previous finishes to show. 2 cross stitches and 1 silk ribbon embroidery. So I don't know if you noticed, but I have jewelry on today. I even have earrings in. You know, I've been cleaning around my vanity area, and it was in dire need of cleaning. I've told y'all this before, you know, my house just fell like to the wayside for the last, you know, 2-3 years since I was working full time. So vanity was very neglected. So I've started cleaning it and got some storage things for makeup and going through the drawers and sort of weeding out and cleaning and all that stuff. So this was hanging on the mirror of my vanity. And I apologize, it's some dusty, but this is a little decorative little coin purse that I made quite a few years ago. Silk ribbon embroidery. I love the way silk ribbon embroidery looks. I don't think I'm that great at doing it, but that was my project. So I thought I would show y'all that before I put it back up in there. We're about to be up to April, so I did finish my little April calendar, and I'll show you that in a minute, but I wanted to show you my other April thing that I display. I display these bigger ones, which is from Hands On Designs, Year of Celebrations. These display in my living room. And this is the April one. 28 count Monaco, using my own conversion of flosses, DMC and Fancy Floss. And then I usually just have like a little, small little bow with a little centerpiece. The piece that I have to display these on, it's not very big, so I wasn't able to do anything. Like, ideally, I wanted to back each thing with fabric, but it didn't work out size-wise. And then I did this last year. So I need to start decorating for Easter, so I went and found this morning. Get it out and start putting my stuff up. So this was a freebie from Shannon Christine. She had it, I think she just shared the pattern on her Instagram. And I stitched it on a 14 count light seafoam Aida. And then I had bought these little wooden pieces from Hobby Lobby. And I just used some rubber stamp ink and just inked it in like an ombre. And then added this cute little ribbon and the little egg that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I covered a comic book board with some fabric, and I put that in the frame, and then I just mounted the cross stitch on top of that. And this was just a frame that I had on hand, and I just painted it. Not the best paint job, but I kept trying different things to get the right color. So while I'm talking about that, I don't know if y'all have seen or not, but Shannon Christine did release a new freebie. And that is that cute little bunny in the basket. And that one you can get on her website in the downloads section. Or if you're in her Facebook group, in the files section. I would love to stitch that one up. So those are previous things I've finished. So what I worked on this week, my whips, I have 2 finishes and a few whips. I did get and they're not going to be in any kind of order or anything, maybe slightly, but my whips and FFOs and FO, I don't think I have an FO. Yeah, I do. I have 1 FFO, 2 FOs, and they'll just be all together, mixed together. But I did get my my little kit in from Scattered Seed Samplers. I told y'all last time that I just decided to take the plunge and join this little needlework club. It's called the Little Messenger Handwork series. And this first one was the Spring Messenger Pin Keep. And it did come with all of the supplies and templates, both to make the round piece, and there's a little heart-shaped, a little stuffed heart. That's like, this is the backing fabric for the stitched piece, and then you also have the little squares to make a little stuffed heart with the same fabric. It came with all the threads on a little card. So she had just numbered them, and I just went in and added the symbols. It came with this little vintage O-ring that's supposed to go on the top of the heart. And then it came with this little bird charm. And I did start stitching on it. I didn't get a whole lot done, but I did do a little bit. Just a tiny bit, just because I wanted to start it. Sorry. This is on 36 count linen in Vintage Country Mocha, I do believe. Yes, 36 count Edinburgh linen and Vintage Country Mocha. And so it's stitched 1 strand of DMC over 2 threads. And I got just a very, very small start on that cute little robin. So that was the only, not part of a group type thing that I was doing. Or I don't know what you call it. Like all of my other stuff is sort of like in categories, you know. So I have my magazine monthly challenge pieces that I do. Um, this is a group that's on Facebook that I will link below. And I wanted to let you know, I always have it in my description box, but I don't think I've talked about it a whole lot recently. But all of my magazines I access through the Readly app. That is a monthly feed service. It's like, it costs me like $13.60, something like that with tax. But you get access to quite a few CrossStitch magazines, just CrossStitch, the CrossStitcher, CrossStitch Crazy, CrossStitch Gold, a lot of the ones that are based in the UK. There's quilt magazines, there's sewing magazines, there's, hunting magazines. Anything you would want to read basically is in there. Entertainment, they have some puzzle magazines that you can actually do your puzzles either on your tablet or, print them out and do them. So you can set up different profiles on it so that, your content is yours. And like if your husband wants to, look at fishing or hunting or, cars or whatever, then he can have his own profile. I really like the app a lot. I was a little leery of it at first. When I first checked it out, when I first heard about it and checked it out, it seems like they didn't have a whole lot of magazines. But then the next time I heard about it and checked it out, they had quite a few more. And so I was like, I'm going to try it. And I haven't looked back. I'm able to, do screenshots of my patterns and put them in a PDF markup program, so I don't have to print anything out, which is fabulous to me, not wasting paper. They're just great. So I just wanted to mention that's where I get almost all of my magazines, which I'll share about another one that I signed up for in haul in a minute. And it's not available in the app. But so I have my little April little calendar piece finished, completely finished. I'm ready for the first coming up later this week. This is from the CrossStitcher magazine. I'll have it linked below, not linked, but I'll give you the description of what issue it's in. Unfortunately, I didn't pull my papers today to be able to easily share what all of these are from. But these are designed by Cheryl McKinnon, who is Tiny Modernist. And I'm just stitching these up with flosses from my stash. And that's my finish. So I did make one change. She had charted this little tulip the same color as the house. I stitched it and I was like, why is it the same color as the house? I want something different. So I just went in my stash and pulled a more purple floss to do the tulip with. And I just pulled, flosses from my stash, both DMC and thrifted floss. This is stitched on 14 count French lace Aida. And then I mount it on a mounting board, mat board. And I trimmed it with this little pom-pom trim. And then I put a piece of fabric on a comic book board. And then added these little trims down at the bottom. And attached them together. And then it has a washer on the back. And then my mounting piece has a magnet. So I'm glad that I'm keeping up with those. Getting those finished before each month comes. And I have those, the bigger pieces from Hands On Design are in the living room. And then those smaller pieces I have in my craft room. So also in my magazine monthly challenge pieces, this is the only other piece that I worked on. And that's the Alsatian Redwork heart. This one is from Just Cross Stitch magazine, and I believe it's from February 2016. So, you know, on that Readly app, not only do they have current issues, but they go back quite a while. I haven't even really noticed. I mean, that one, you know, obviously goes back at least to 2016. I'm pretty sure there's more than that. And you get access to all of them. And so I did stitch a little bit more on this both last Sunday and yesterday. And I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So I'm stitching this on a piece of 28 count Irish linen that I got from Michael's. And I'm using DMC floss color number 115, which is a variegated red. Beautiful color. Gorgeous color. And I'm stitching it 2 strands over 2 threads. It's beautiful. I love working on it. I love working on that linen a lot. It was so inexpensive. I love it. So those were my only magazine monthly challenge pieces. I didn't keep up with my other goals this month at all. And I've talked about it before. It's because I was concentrating on keeping up with my SALs. Which the SALs that I have been working on were through Fat Quarter Shop. I do a lot of stuff that Fat Quarter Shop does. So the first one I'm going to show you is the Shine On sampler, which is in the Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee book. It's not available separately, so you have to have that book. But this is the picture Fat Quarter Shop has on their blog that has these blue bars or the dates that each section is supposed to be completed by. I am behind on it, but I know that I will get, you know, caught up before the end of it. So I'm stitching this on 28 count even weave that I got from Hobby Lobby, just plain old white. And I'm using the call for Cosmo flosses. So the last time you saw it, I had this exactly like it is, and then I had started on this. So last night while I was watching TV, I just went ahead and did some more outlining of this piece, which was the release number 2. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, after I get this outlined, I'm going to go ahead and move to the next part, and I'm going to outline those pieces. And by the time I get that done, they'll probably be due for the next one. So I'll do the same thing, and then that way I can just go back and fill in, like, you know, once I get all of the ones that have passed already outlined, then when I do the next part that's, you know, okay, this one's due and I'm caught up, then, you know, whenever I stitch on the next ones, I can just come back and just put, you know, a length of thread or 2 each time I stitch on the next, you know, portion. And then it will get caught up. Those Cosmo flosses are very nice. And I don't know if it's the flosses or if it's this fabric, but I've noticed that, you know, I use a loop method to start, but to end, I run my thread, you know, behind the underneath threads on the back of my work. And this, I don't know, this pattern, and I don't remember, I think the one that I did with Jan Hicks, that was a Cosmo pattern also. It was on a different even weave. I don't know, my needle just slides under the threads really easily. So I don't know if it's the Cosmo thread or if it's just the fabric. I struggle with, you know, my pieces that are on Aida and linen. So I like when that, you know, just slides right under it. It just makes it so nice. So the other sow that I did just do a few little stitches on last night is the Serendipity sow from Fat Quarter Shop also. This is their fundraiser for Make-A-Wish of South and Central Texas, I think is the region. So this is a free pattern that you can get on their blog. They do recommend or ask that you give a donation to their fundraiser. And so they're releasing them every other week, like I think maybe it's the 1st and the 15th. So on the 15th of March, they released this first row. And then the 1st of April, they'll release the second, and so on. And I'm using Call-For flosses and fabric, which is 14 count navy, Ada, and DMC flosses. So I had this little square done already, and then last night I just did the blue on this second one. It's not a very easy pattern to follow. I don't struggle, I try to do things where I'm getting the most efficient use of my thread, and so I can kind of drive myself crazy with, what order do I stitch these in, and where do I go next, and so, for that reason, it's just I spend a little bit more time stitching on them, but I think that's going to be really pretty. So, the other sow that I've been doing with Fat Quarter Shop is the Prim and Proper from Lori Holt. I won this pattern from Stitching with the Housewives. Yay! And I have a finish. I finished this yesterday morning. I thought I was going to have a finish Saturday night, and then I made a mistake and had to rip, and I was like, I'm done. So, I love this. I love it, I love it, I love it. I stitched mine on 14 count chalkboard black Ada. Kind of wish that I had done true black, but I have tons of this in my stash, so I did have to change some colors. So, her border around the centerpiece is dark brown, and then the edges of the quilt blocks are dark brown. And of course, the dark brown would have just, not really shown up or popped on this fabric. So I changed that to a pink Victorian Motto variegated floss. The places that were purple were like this color right here, and I wanted to just do something different, so I did purple instead. And then I changed out, I don't remember what color these, let's see, I think there were another one of this color X. So instead of doing two of those the same color, I just did one purple on each side. And I did do my urn a little differently. I just did the swag part of the top with the white floss, and then I did the band with the white floss. I started looking at things last night. Don't know how I'm going to finish it. As far as what I'm going to mount it on, I think I may just get I think it would fit like in an 8x10 frame, but I think I may just get like a wood piece that I can just mount it on, paint it and mount it on, instead of spending money on a frame when I'm just gonna, I wouldn't put it in the frame. I would just mount it on top of the frame. But anyway, I was looking at fabrics that I had in my stash, and I found this little grunge. I think this is what I'm going to use to like mount behind it. And then I have that that velvet yarn that I showed last video that I'm going to try dyeing some of it and see. You know, if I go and before I finish this, if I find another fabric I like better, you know, I can change it out. I don't know if it's pulling up true on camera. It's looking a little bit more orange than it is. I kind of liked having a little bit of orange to pick up some of the orange in those X's. I don't know if one side's better than the other, but it's pulling up a lot oranger than it is in real life. I have some other, you know, different shades of this grunge, so I have another option that I could use, and I'll just, you know, I'll play with it and see. So that's my sows that I worked on. We did get the last release of Stitching Book Club. I haven't started working on that, but it is very, very pretty. And you know, all this time I've been saying that I couldn't show you guys a picture, and then I realized that, I mean, I couldn't show you a picture of the final part, but or the whole piece, but she does send you know, computer generated image with each chart. So this is the I actually think this is the alternative version. Okay, so this is the actual original version. So this is what the piece will end up looking like. So we have all of this top part done, and then now I'll just have to go in and do this bottom part. I think it's so, so pretty. I'm trying to keep the glare off the screen, but I absolutely cannot wait to start stitching on it and finish it. It's gorgeous. And I showed you, you know, I haven't done anything else on that since I showed you last. So I've also been doing March Mayhem, and my version of it, you know, a lot of people are doing like brackets, which I think is really cool to, you know, mimic March Madness. But what I wanted to do with mine was to focus on finishing things that were close to being completely stitched. So I've already finished a little Christmas ornament with a camper on it. I finished Bloomtopia, which I showed you guys last week. My husband did hang that in my house over the weekend, and he hung it on Saturday. And then Sunday morning, I got up and went in the living room and, you know, sat down and I looked up and I went, the little tulips that I had on the top, I had them just stuck on with some, like some of that foamy, sticky tape, and it didn't hold, so they fell off. So I'm gonna have to rethink that and do it with something more permanent, I guess, something that will hold it better. But anyway, I finished that Bloomtopia. I finished, was there anything else in between? I don't think so. I've had some other finishes, but they haven't been the March Mayhem pieces. But I did finally finish this one, which is from Fat Quarter Shop. Y'all notice a theme with me? Fat Quarter Shop, love them. This is their Feels Like Home. And I finished this not long after my last video, I don't think. I don't know what that is. Some threads that I don't want to let go. So, this fence, someone online had done it in a blended threads with the there's a lighter gray that was supposed to be the fence, and then they blended it with one strand of the darker gray. I tried that. I didn't really like the way it looked. I thought, you know, like from a distance you couldn't tell, but when you were up close on it, you could just tell that it was, you know, it just looked too obvious. So I ripped it all out and just did it with a, I actually did it with a DMC, one of the newer colors, I think maybe 01, sort of just a light gray. They called for fancy floss, and I did have the fancy floss to do it, but I kind of doubted that I had enough to do it. And in the end, I was like, I don't want to get halfway through this and have to buy more floss at this stage. So I just changed it. I did put my initials and the date, the year on this one, and I started to do it on my prim and proper. And I don't know, like I want to have my name on my pieces because in the date, because you know when I look back at the things that I've made before, I don't remember when I made them. And you know I always put labels on my quilts, so I think I may just start. But I don't know how I feel about having my, I don't know how I feel about it having it on the piece itself, the front stitched in. So I don't know. Lori Holt has those library cards that she attaches to the backs of her pieces. I may just start doing that, putting some kind of label on the back of the piece, the finished piece. If it's a pillow finish, might not work as well, but I could always do, sort of a label like I do on my quilts. It was just a fabric label that you sew on and to the back of it. But anyway, I love this little guy, this little bird, and those roses so much. Their house did call for all gray on the front, and I just did the Caribbean waters on the dormers and around the door, on the dormer and around the door, just to break up all of that gray. I need to find a piece to finish this on, and I can't wait. Look at that little bird, how cute he is. His little heart-shaped eye. So yay, I got another finish. This has been a great month for finishing. So once I finished with that, then I moved on to my next piece that's nearing the end. And that is Jardin Privé's Quaker de Noël. And I don't know if I'll have this finished before the end of the month, which is a little disappointing. I will be so close, but I don't know if I'm going to make it. So I'm stitching this, I forgot to say, on the Feels Like Home, it's a 28 count antique white Monaco, stitched 2 strands over 2 threads. This is a 14 count white opalescent Aida that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I'm stitching this with some classic Colorworks colors, 2 strands of floss over the 1 square of Aida. The burgundy parts are razzleberry. These words are Jolly Holly. And then this, the tree I did different, and I'm sorry I don't remember the name of the color. I wish that this piece had more variegation to it, but I'm very happy with it. So I need to finish this bottom part, which is, you have more presents on this side, and then just that band at the bottom, but that's a lot of stitching. And then I have to do the little deer, the house, and then the little half a tree on this side. So fingers crossed, maybe I can. I don't know. Maybe if I just focused on stitching on that, but I'm kind of wanting to go. I'm kind of eager to get back to my some other things, my regular rotation. I won't get back to that until not this week that we're in right now, but the following, starting this coming Sunday, if I get stitching done on Sunday. And Sunday is Easter, so I probably won't film again this coming Sunday. I will film on Monday, unless by some miracle I get up really early in the morning. I don't think that's going to happen. My sleep patterns have been so screwed up. It's terrible. And then, I'll stay up till, 2 o'clock in the morning and finally get to sleep. And, either I wake up, like at 5 and I'm not really ready to get up. I just, get up and maybe have a bowl of cereal or some toast or something, read for a little while and then go back to sleep and sleep till 10. It's just crazy. Or I'll wake up, and I'm in pain that, just wipes me out even more. So I don't know. Something's got to give. I don't know what to do about it, really. Okay, so that's all that I stitched on this week. So I got a lot of progress on what I worked on, and it feels really good to finish some things. My little pile of finishes, though, and that are waiting to be FFO'd are kind of piling up a little bit. I don't like that so much, but it is what it is. It still feels good to have things finished and off of the whip pile. I would like to whittle down the whip pile, before I start adding more. But God, it's so hard. And let me tell you why. I got some news, different things that are coming out. I don't know if you guys watched the Fat Quarter Shop FlossTube from this past Wednesday. It took me a couple days to watch it, but oh my God, they showed their new piece that's going to be a stitch along, I think, starting in June. It's another Lori Holt pattern, and it's flea market flowers, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And you know what I just realized? Today is the first day that it's available for purchase, so I have to go get that because it's just... Let me see if I can pull up a picture for y'all if you haven't seen it. Let's see. Let me search. Flea market flowers. No, that's the quilt. It's also a quilt pattern. Let me get my computer plugged back in because its battery's low. Help me. Help me, help me, help me. Oh my God. It's gorgeous. So that's going to be calling to me. And then, let's see. Barbara, who is the Raspberry Stitcher, is starting on the 1st. She is starting a autism awareness SAL. And at first I said, I was just going to announce it on my channel just to, bring attention to it. And, but I'm not going to stitch it. So I went to find her post so that I could show you her post. And I was looking at this pattern and I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. So this is her profile on Instagram. She also is here on FlossTube, and she did do a special video just related to the SAL. So if you don't know, if you haven't followed her before, her son has autism, and so she's doing the SAL to bring awareness to autism. They're using the Jessie Watson pattern from Hands-On Design. She's got it broken down into 12 parts, and it's going to be the Jessie Watson Autism SAL, and she's starting that on the 1st. So like I said, I said I'm not going to do that. I don't need to start anything else, but oh my goodness, that eyelet, this heart right here is eyelet stitches. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really would like to. I'd like to do it because it's a worthy, thing to bring attention to. So I don't know, we'll see. I guess you'll find out next week when I do my video. But those two things are definitely for sure calling to me. Another thing that's calling to me, the little bunnies from Whilst Iris Naps. I still want to do those. I really want to dye some fabric to stitch those on. People have been showing little patterns from the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, the one by the Blue Flower, and the one by Priscilla and Chelsea, that's spring. Those are ones that really caught my eye, and I keep seeing them, and it's like I've, resisted getting a subscription to that magazine because, I just want to do my Readly app, but I did. I broke down. Finally, somebody else showed that Blue Flower little piece and said that it was going to be a series, so I went ahead and subscribed to it digitally. So that will be one that I don't get on my Readly app. But anyway, those things are calling to me to start, even though I would like to whittle down the whips a little bit more before I start anything else. I don't know if that's going to happen. So, haul. I showed you the Scattered Seeds kit. I just told you about the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. I don't know if y'all saw, but Joanne is running another 45-cent DMC sale. I think it ends today. And so I did go and participate in that. So I basically told myself I wanted to get 100. I think I ended up with 103. I went through the ones that I have now and saw the ones that I was getting low on and added those to my list. And then I just went through my Xstitch app and went through the bins and picked up a lot of the ones that I don't have. I don't know, I haven't done a count, but I would think I'm like maybe 25 or so from having a complete set of DMC. So I think next time they run the sale, I will go ahead and get the rest of them. So I started putting some of them on floss drops, and I'm just going to try to do like 10 or 15 a day. But I wanted to talk about these. So I get these tags from Amazon. I had a question on a few videos ago. I get these tags on Amazon. They come in a pack. I've gotten them from 2 different places. This is the most recent pack that I got. So this is how they come, just with the little hole at the top. And it's like a gift tag. So I just go in and punch a large hole right here. And before, that was all that I would do. But, if I'm stitching with this floss, and let's say I only use a small amount, and I want to put it back on this card, I usually would just put it back right here. But sometimes it gets sort of lost underneath it. So then I just started, putting it over here on the side. I don't know, sometimes it's hard to, like, if you put it right here already and you've got to move it. So anyway, I started putting this small hole right here. So if I have any pieces, that are long enough to do something with left over, then I'll just start putting them in this little hole. So that next time I need to stitch with this color, I can just pull it from right there. It doesn't, get mixed up with any of this other floss. So these are the ones that I've put on floss drops already. I also had a 50% coupon from Joanne, so I went ahead and picked up another color of dye, lemon yellow. I've been looking at fabric and trying to decide like I really would like to order, a yard of something and be able to cut it down and dye it. I really like 36 count linen, but I also like 28 count even weave. So I'm still kind of undecided on what to do as far as what kind of fabric to buy to dye things. I love 36 count because you can just use one strand. I love using one strand. With the 28 count, I can pick up a really large piece of that at Hobby Lobby for like $20. And I've used it on quite a few projects and still have some of it left. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but that's been kind of kicking around in my head because I really want to start dyeing some more things. So that's moving into plans. So I've been, I've told y'all I've been rearranging and organizing and things like that. And I don't know, I'm like, I want to get storage that actually works for what I need it for. Like I have a lot of pieces that is just sort of, either what I had on hand at the moment or what I could find that was, inexpensive at the moment that worked in the moment. But, and I guess too, because, I'm getting more cross stitch stuff and now I'm getting dyeing supplies. So, I'm, wanting to go higher. Like I have next to my desk where I have my finishing stuff, I have a little bookcase. I really would like to get a taller either rack or bookcase type thing so that I can not only store the books that I have on the bookcase now, but have room to put, either move some of my quilting stuff onto that so I have room for my dyeing supplies in one place, or, if it's, I don't think it would be large enough to put my dyeing supplies on because I am limited in space for where it needs to go. So that's been kicking around in my head. And then I also am planning to go back to Michael's and get one of these. So a few weeks, a month ago or so, I bought the taller versions of this. And I used one to put my quilting whips in and one to put my cross-stitch fabric in. So my current storage for my cross-stitch whips is 2 little wooden crates. It works okay, but it's, it takes up a lot of floor space and there's no height to it. So what I would like to do is get one of these to put my quilting whips in because, for one thing, this has more drawers, and then these bottom 4 are deeper. And some of my quilting projects that it's like my active whips cart. They take up a little bit more room. So I'd like to transfer those to this cart. It also has more room on top for me to put my little pattern stand and machine, type, like I have parts to my machine, like my different feet, where it's easily accessible. So that will give me a little bit more room, a little bit more width to put that type of stuff on. And then I would take the tall one like that and put my cross-stitch whips in it. So there's like 10 drawers, so I would definitely have to double up some of them. I probably have, I have probably two of them that probably wouldn't fit in the drawers, but I could possibly, fold them up to get them in there. One for sure would not. Like I have all of my chock full pieces in a big gingham on the go bag. That wouldn't be able to fit in the drawers. But most of them would. And it would, between the 2 of those carts, which would be on the same wall, it would take up the same amount of floor maybe a little less floor space, but it would give me height that I don't have now. To yeah, it would take up less floor space. So I'm planning on doing that. Just trying to get things really, really well organized. I guess I'm gonna, like, let me get all this done before I have to go back to work. That's still an ongoing search. I did the claim that I filed on Point. The money ran out on that one a few weeks ago. And so they had said, to keep, even if you weren't eligible anymore, or I forgot how they worded it, but they said to go ahead and keep filing your week in case the government extended things. So when I went, not this past week, but the week before, when I went to certify my hours, that claim on Point wasn't on there anymore, and it reverted back to a claim that I had made when our hours were cut at the urgent care. So I didn't know what to do. Like, I don't know how unemployment works, really. This is the first time I've had to use it, and, I was like, well, this is not the right claim. Where do I file this stuff? So I didn't file my certification for that week because getting someone on the phone is impossible. Like, you call the number and they say all of our appointments are taken for today. And then they say, if you would like to leave, get in line for a callback the next day, to call again after 5. So I tried a couple times, I'd kind of forgotten about it, and it was like maybe 7 o'clock before I called. All of our appointments are taken for tomorrow. So, call back again tomorrow after 5 to get in line for the day after tomorrow. So one day last week we go walk 3 days a week when my husband gets home, and it's around 5 o'clock. So I took my phone with me, and it was like 5:01. I just started, dialing it. It was busy. By 5:08, I finally got through, and all the appointments for the next day are taken. I was like, golly, what is the deal? So, trying to talk to someone on the phone is impossible. They have a little chat feature on their website, and I did try to use that a few weeks ago to change my PIN. And, they have to get information from you to verify your identity. So I'll give them my information, and they're like, this doesn't match what we have on file. And it was like, period, the end. They closed the chat. What do you mean it doesn't match what you have on file? This is my info. My mom's maiden name is St. Pierre. Did they spell it out? And I typed in st.pierre, and they couldn't figure out that it's the same thing. I don't know. I don't know why. But anyway, I went back in this week. This past week, I got a letter in the mail saying that they determined that determination, that I qualified. And it was on the claim from back in April of 2020. So I went ahead and filed my hours. It's like, y'all figure it out, because I can't talk to anybody. And, if this is not what I'm supposed to do, I guess y'all will let me know. So I'm still applying for jobs. I haven't heard anything on any ones that I've applied for, so I'm trying to find my peace in it, but I'm having a hard time. I really would rather be home, but I don't think we can afford for me to be home full time. So I still have in the back of my mind, that I don't have a job. So anyway, all that to say that I'm feeling this, like, not anxiety, but I'm feeling anxiety about other stuff, but I'm feeling like this compulsion or this driving force to get stuff organized, like truly, really organized, before I have to go back to work and, it's all going to go to crap again, basically. At least I'll have some systems in place that I can utilize instead of, you know, these things that don't work and then, you know, I just don't know what to do with it. So just pile it up here and it piles up for, you know, however many years I have to work again. So I want to do that this week. You know, get that piece and get those pieces organized. I have to do the little hems on the canopy piece. I want to try to work toward a completion on Quaker de Noël. I want to start that final part of the Stitching Book Club piece that I showed you a few minutes ago. And then I want to try to catch up on the Serendipity and the Shine On Sals. You know, we'll try to work on my magazine monthly challenge pieces. I don't know if I'll do any or not. They've been really hit and miss this month. But starting next week, you know, it's going to be back to, you know, March Mayhem will be gone, and then I can get back to my rotation. And, you know, if I wanted to, I could probably just work on those pieces in my rotation, or I can use my wheel and let it choose. So I'm looking forward to getting back to the wheel to choose. Well, once again, I thought this video was going to be short, and it's not. I don't know what my problem is, but I guess I just need to stop apologizing for it because it is what it is, and I don't mean to take so long, but okay. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you have a great Monday, or probably Tuesday before this is uploaded. A good rest of your week. And I hope everybody stays safe and well, and have a happy Easter if you celebrate Easter. And I will probably see y'all. I'll probably record again on next Monday. And then it'll probably be Tuesday before it gets uploaded. So, but I'll be on social media, and, you know, follow me there. My information on those is below. Even if you don't friend me on Facebook, all of my creation albums are public. So if you want to just go look at things that I've stitched or quilted, those are public. Anybody can look at them. And that information is below as far as my Facebook profile goes. Okay, I love you guys, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.